Northport Podcast Network is your go-to source for all things Northport.
Make sure to subscribe to the Northport Podcast Network wherever you listen and join us as we celebrate and connect with our amazing community.
Northport Now will be released bi-weekly.
Northport Stories and Living will be monthly.
A schedule will be available on social media and our website.
Hello everyone, Devon Poulos here, Aquatics Manager. Welcome to my crib. We have fun here at the crib, programs included. Become a past member, play all year long. Here at the crib, we do have rules. We take all payments here at the crib. Apple Pay, MasterCard, Visa, cash. You pay right here to enjoy the crib. So enter through the gate, child-proof, most adult-proof. Shade. What's that? Our newly installed sunshade available for rent all season long. Here at my crib, you don't have to worry about a place to find a seat. We've added more chairs than ever here at the crib. If you're coming to enjoy the cribs and you got little ones, we got the perfect area for them, our Pelican Playground. Newly painted, fresh floor, fresh palm tree. It's looking clean. Looking for a place to work your upper body? Take a shot at here at our Stingray Shuffle. Looking to relax? I got you covered here with our Lazy River. Living more on the adventurous side? Check out the slides right behind me. Newly painted, all offer something individual and unique. Check it out. Check out the main pool, kept at a wonderful 84 degrees all year long. I just want you to have a good time. We have safety covered. Lifeguards here, staff, all day, every day when we're open for you to enjoy. Concession is open. Pizza, pretzels, nachos, ice cream. We got it all. My crib is your crib. Looking forward to seeing you here.
Brittany to Devon.
Duty calls.
Hello, my name is Jerome Fletcher, City Manager of the City of Northport. I'm at the Northport Aquatic Center. I'm on the job today. Let's go. Jesse. Good morning, sir. Nice to see you. All right, thanks for having me today.
Of course, we're going to go through our opening checklist for this morning to make sure that the facility is safe and operational.
All right, sounds good. Let's do it. Before anything else, the team walks the entire area to make sure everything is clean and in good shape.
Our next part of our task is to make sure that our body of water is one, clear. The water must remain clean. We must identify any possible materials that shouldn't be in the water.
Then it was time to check the surge tanks.
As you can see the glistening of the water down there.
Right.
If the water is too deep and you hear a rushing of water, that means that this needs to be filled before we can begin operations for this.
Okay. It's part science, part intuition. At the Relaxahatchee River, Jesse showed me the digital checklist system, the Hydro app.
As soon as I click yes on this checklist, that let's say the water is clear,
Right.
and I do not identify that the water is cloudy or any sense, that yes goes directly to my manager and lets them know that at this exact time, I checked that water to make sure it was safe and clear.
This technology being used at its best.
Oh yeah.
Good job.
Now our rotations, we have evolved to having our lifeguards into a more of a roving position. With the competition pool, we still maintain the chairs for the height eligibility. But here we have to have a minimum of 5 lifeguards just to run this body of water.
Wow.
And we actually have a lifeguard positioned in our catch pool over there to help our guests that are coming out of the slides at a Barracuda tarpon twister.
I've seen that person there. Then Jesse brought up something that most people might not think about, pool skimming.
Pool skimming is the sounds of the water being properly flowed. So with those drains, all the water has to constantly fill throughout the pool.
Good evening. Today is Tuesday, February 24th, 2026 at 6 p.m. We're in the city chambers and I call the City Commission regular meeting to order. Commissioners present are Commissioner Duval, Commissioner Stokes, Mayor Emmerich, Vice Mayor Langdon, and Commissioner Petro. There is a quorum present for this meeting. Also present are City Manager Fletcher, City Attorney Fuino, City Clerk Faust, Board Specialist Linder, Captain Fussel's in the back, and Chief Titus once again. I'm going to call on Vice Mayor to lead us in the pledge this evening.
Goodness, I'm honored. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Welcome, Mayor.
Looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion made by Vice Mayor to approve the agenda, seconded by Commissioner Stokes. If nothing to that, please vote. And that passes 5-0. Moving on, City Clerk, public comment.
Debbie McDowell, I wanted to take a moment to give credit where credit is due. Congratulations on a very informative and well-prepared town hall on the basics of Northport's government and explaining how the city makes decisions. The breakdown on Boca Chica Park was a perfect example of the process and how slow the wheels of government turn. Staff did a fantastic job. The presentation was extremely thorough. The attendees were very engaged too. Great job, everyone. I thought the town hall, how city government makes decisions, was a perfect opportunity to ask a question regarding the future annexation of 3,150 acres. Paraphrasing my question, why did the city manager send a memo to the county administrator informing the county of the city's preliminary intent to annex 3,150 acres when there was zero discussion with the Northport commissioners at the dais and no public input? Unfortunately, my question wasn't answered, but it did cause a bit of confusion. I emailed you a copy of the memo that was sent on January 15th. Every commissioner, staff, and even the city manager have said residential homes require more expenses than the revenues they generate. Less than 2 short years ago, everyone was told that the primary purpose of rezoning thousands of residential parcels and 2 activity centers was to increase the tax base. How will annexing 3,150 acres and potentially 9,000 new dwelling units create jobs and increase city revenue? Cheryl Cook. On 11/22/16, the City Commission unanimously suspended the rules at the start of the meeting. While a single suspension can be routine, repeated use over many months has become a consistent practice today, subtly shaping how meetings are conducted and how public participation is received. Over time, procedural flexibility has coincided with certain participants, commenters, and proxies having greater influence during public comment and board discussions. Publicly available records show connections among these actors, revealing interaction patterns that consistently affect meeting dynamics. Historical behaviors include repeated rule suspensions, tolerance of extended commentary by specific individuals, and references to names of former titles and forums beyond the city's jurisdiction. While these practices do not themselves violate law, repeated patterns can be viewed in court as evidence of customary procedures, recognized practices, or selective enforcement. Courts examine whether reliance on published procedures was reasonable and whether public expectations were affected. These patterns illustrate how procedural flexibility and reoccurring behavior shape meeting culture. Even minor deviations from predictable enforcement can influence perception, participation, and trust. Documented trends underscore the importance of applying rules consistently to ensure fairness, transparency, and public confidence. This e-comment is intended to raise awareness of procedural trends, historical patterns, and the ongoing need for neutral, predictable conduct in public meetings. Consistent and transparent application of procedures strengthens public trust and reinforces that governance is fair, impartial, and accountable to the community. Stephen Harrison. Hello, Commissioners. My name is Stephen Harrison. I serve on the Charter Review Advisory Board, but I am speaking solely on my own behalf as a resident engaged in our local government. I am conducting a feasibility study on best practices for recruitment and retention of advisory board members as part of my capstone project. I'm midway through the research and will share the final data and recommendations upon completion. My goal is to identify strategies that strengthen participation, improve sustainability, and ensure advisory boards effectively serve our city. I would like to thank Commissioner Duval, Sarah Lane, Julia Fritz, Jason Bartolone, City Clerk Heather Faust, and Deputy City Clerk Matt Powell for their professionalism and assistance throughout this process. There are two issues I believe warrant discussion. First, advisory boards continue to face staffing challenges, which impacts community engagement and informed decision-making. Second, clarifying charter language regarding commissioner communication with staff may provide additional structure and transparency. The City of Venice and Charlotte County include language allowing communication for inquiry and information, and similar models exist throughout Florida. Comparable language could be considered for Section 5.2 of our charter. I respectfully suggest that workshops on both topics to encourage collaboration and open dialogue, similar to the 2022 workshop. I am not approaching this with criticism. I believe our city leadership is doing an excellent job, and my intent is simply to strengthen an already strong organization. Thank you for your time and service. In person, I have Tim Doyle, Tim Drum, and Vowdy Oleander.
I'll start off today. I'm a little calmer. I'm going to discuss last week's meeting. I don't think some of the comments I was making really got through. So, Mr. Petro, am I saying your name right? With all due respect, sir, you're a snake oil salesman. Your terms you are using to get loans, critical infrastructure, could mean electric lines, could mean power line, the power lines, could mean the telephone line, could mean the cell phone towers. I advise everybody in this city, don't vote for anything like that. And I do know how to word it. I do understand what you're trying to do, but you can't word it like that. So I'll leave that alone. Mr. Stokes. You have three fine people sitting down here trying to help the city. Three fine people that came here for feedback from you. I felt you sat here and talked down to them the whole time. I almost jumped out of my chair the way you were talking to them. Only smart people can do things, huh? That's how they come up with smart words like infrastructure. It can mean anything. Now, those three fine people, if they want help, they can call me. I'll give them verbiage. Take me 5 minutes. I can't spell. I'm stupid. I'll admit I'm stupid, but I'm not ignorant. You were talking down to those people. They deserve better. When people like me come here, we're customers and we're upset. So we get out of line a little bit. You guys should be at a certain level all the time. And that's my personal opinion. Other people could have taken it wrong. Go back and watch the tape. Mr. Mayor, I didn't see you do anything wrong last week. That's not what I'm mad about. I'm mad about what I learned since the last meeting to this day. And I'm not going to have enough time to really talk about it, get into it. But by the time I get done here, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, talking at every agenda item, we'll get through it all. You guys know how I feel. This government is not here for the people. The police department is not here for the people. I was in that police department and then waiting for a police report. I saw 4 people walk into that police department and have to file complaints for being robbed online and all this other stuff. You are spending way too much time on traffic control, and you need to go get the real criminals in our society and stop trying to get money out of the citizens. And I'll have a lot more to say.
Good evening. My name is Tim Drum. I've been a Northport resident for nearly 20 years. I grew up in Port Charlotte and obtained my engineering degree from the University of South Florida in Tampa. I own Drum Engineering Corp., which was started by my late father in 1989. We provided over 6,000 engineering projects here in the city of Northport and over 19,000 projects throughout the state of Florida. I also serve on 2 advisory boards here in the city of Northport. I am here tonight because I've been accused by Jerome Fletcher, Elena Ray, and David Greenbaum for statements I did not make. There was a meeting on Friday, January 23rd, 2026, in the public lobby of the building department. This meeting was between myself, Daniel Petro, David Greenbaum, Kyle Hoffman, and several other cities of Northport staff members. Please note Commissioner Petro was not present at this meeting. On January 27th, Elena Ray sent an email to Jerome Fletcher and Jerome Fletcher then sent an email out to other key city staff along with the city commissioners with these false statements. In this email, they stated I visited the building department and represented myself on behalf of the applicant, Commissioner Petro. The email also stated that I forcefully and publicly insisted that the chief building official and other building division staffs were liars. The email continues to accuse me of repeatedly invoking Commissioner Petro's name with overtures of negative consequences for city staff for not approving the commissioner's permit as is. Kyle Hoffman is the City of Northport zoning coordinator, and he was present for this public meeting. Elena Ray first contacted Kyle Hoffman on January 30th to get his account of this public meeting. So 3 days after Elena Ray and Jerome Fletcher's email went out to the commissioners with these accusations. In Kyle's email to Elena and myself, you will see he refutes the statements that I use Commissioner Petro's name or position in any manner at all, nor did I call city staff liars. Based on their own city staff present at this meeting, Kyle Hoffman refutes their accusations they made about me. You would figure a good or at least thorough leader would gather the facts of a story and corroborate them before sending out a public email. One must wonder, why would the city staff make such deliberate false statements? I implore you to do your job and search out the truth and take appropriate actions against the party or parties involved in making these false and slanderous statements. Thank you for your time. I also have a sworn statement to corroborate my statements.
Good evening. This is Baldi Olander, not Oleander. I've been here for 5 years. Good evening. I am Baldi Olander, and I came here in peace. I am not the criminal, and I have a dignity. I am instructing you, Emrich, to respect my dignity. My dignity is not up to you. Emrich, I'm instructing you to remove the policeman of my back. There's plenty of room over there. He can sit over here. Are you deaf? These two hands pay your salary. I am only good to be fleeced from my hard-earned money. Changing the subject. Federal congressmen in the United States earn $174,000 base salary. In Northport, we have 8 employees already, which base salary is above $200,000. Is it this Northport new middle class? I'm changing the subject. I will continue what I spoke last time on the public trust doctrine. And what I'm reading is from the Cornell University Attorney Department. The public trust doctrine does not take the rights away. One more time, does not take away rights. Rather, it established that certain natural resources only are held in the trust for public use, which I am for it. Meaning that government must manage these resources for benefit of everyone. However, it can limit private property rights in relation to those resources, ensuring they remain accessible to public. Public trust doctrine is legal principle that holds certain natural resources in trust for public use, like navigable waters, wildlife, and land, access to the ocean. Public trust doctrine originated in Roman civil law since a long time ago. By the way, Emrich, where is this document where I give it up my rights? I asked you last time. How many times you need it?
Thank you. Thank you. Moving on to announcements of current advisory board and committee vacancies. City Clerk, can you read the announcements, please?
The current vacancies for the following boards and committees include Art Advisory Board, Auditor Selection Committee, Charter Review Advisory Board, Citizen Tax Oversight Committee, Community Economic Development Advisory Board, Debt Management Committee, Environmental Advisory Board, Firefighters Pension Trust Fund Board of Trustees, Historic and Cultural Advisory Board, Joint Management Advisory Board, Police Officers Pension Trust Fund Board of Trustees, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, Planning and Zoning Advisory Board, and Veterans Park Advisory Committee. Sarasota County Advisory Council vacancies include one resident of Northport to serve on the Sarasota Manatee Metropolitan Planning Organization Citizen Advisory Committee. If anyone would like more information, please see the City Clerk's office. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda. City Manager, have any items been pulled, sir?
No, sir.
Thank you. City Clerk, is there any public comment?
I guess on A, you're doing some work to the police station for $184,030. As I talked before in this room, I've done work, ACs, I replaced ACs, I've built buildings, I've done all kinds of stuff. I just hope that the contracts are all in place. I hope that there aren't too many change orders, because that seems to happen on big jobs like this. And the amount of $184,000, I could pay for 3 restaurants with brand new HVAC systems, so that's a lot of money to me. To me, you can almost replace the units for the place. So just please make sure you spend the money wisely. I'm not saying it doesn't have to be done, but we get ripped off a lot. You guys got $25,000 for some cold weather gear? God bless you. It was donated. Do the right stuff with it. You know, doesn't get cold here, but I guess we need something. Now the next one, number C. These are the things I don't really know everything about, but I don't like. It says software subscription. But here's my problem with it. Automatic renewal. Fee increases, automatic. Why would you ever sign a contract that's ongoing? They can always raise fees. To me, that's not a smart thing to do. Any contract that you sign, you should sign to maybe, you know, go over the terms again, but not automatic increases. What is that? Is that a cost of living increases? What are those increases for? And what's the software for? And where is the software being stored? What are you storing? These are the things you need to start asking about all these software things. All over this country, they're building data centers. They ain't data centers. They're spy centers. Every keystroke on your computer is probably going to 1,000 different computers and being registered. Read my shirt. We've been taken over by the computer. So you give any computer company automatic renewal terms, automatic increases. That's not what you should be doing. Again, you're spending some money between you and other people. I just hope this is all good. You got another one on here for software. Again, what is that software for? Where is this all this software? How many computers all over the world are watching your softwares? You know.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything from the commission, questions, discussion? If not, I'll be looking for a motion.
I'll make it, Mayor.
Go ahead.
I move to approve the items in the consent agenda.
Second.
Got a motion on the floor made by Vice Mayor to approve the items in the consent agenda as presented, seconded by Commissioner Stokes. If there's no discussion, please vote. And that passes 5-0. Moving on to public hearing, second reading. Ordinance number 2026-01. City manager, this is, city clerk, read by title only, please.
Ordinance number 2026-01, an ordinance of the City of Northport, Florida, providing for the imposition and collection of non-ad valorem special assessments to fund costs incurred by the city in abating nuisance conditions of excessive growth of grass and nuisance weeds on developed lots, and hazardous trees and accumulation of debris on any lot. Amending the code of the City of Northport, Florida, Chapter 42, Nuisances, Article 2, Lot Clearing, to create Section 42-27, providing for findings, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Now, city manager, this is your item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. During the City Commission regular meeting held on January 13th of 2026, ordinance number 2026-01 was forwarded to a second reading with a 5-0 vote. Staff recommends that you take the following action of option 1, which is approve ordinance number 2026-01 as presented, which will allow for more efficient and effective recovery of the actual cost of abatement and administrative expenses incurred by the city. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Commission, anything? I see nothing. Any public comment?
Who owns the property? You are the people who own the property. You charge me over $5,000 a year on my property taxes. So now you want to go around stealing people's property because you say it's too long. Who owns the property? You are the property owner. Huh? So if you're going to pass an ordinance like this, does that property owner have a right to walk on their own property and cut down stuff anytime they want without a permit? Do they have a right to do that, gentlemen? Can they cut something over 4 inches long or no? Or thick? Excuse me, I used the wrong terminology. Can they cut trees over 4 inches thick? No. To me, this is ludicrous. I understand what you're thinking on this, but again, who owns the property? You want to come on my property and cut everything down, right? But I can't do that? And then you're going to charge me for that? Think about what you're doing here, boys and girls. I understand your frustration here, but you guys sold my backyard for a $25 permit fee. You're going to steal people's property. You're going to put a lien on their property. And what have I said in this room so many times? Where the heck's the courthouse in Northport? Largest city by population and area, and you're expanding it, according to what I just heard. And there's no courthouse. That's why I'm in this room right now. There is no justice in this goddamn town. Never has been since I've been here. I'm sorry. You people steal people's property. And this is just a way to steal people's property, putting liens on it. Well, if you're going to pass this, then I should have a right to go on my own property anytime I want and cut down anything I want. Whether it's 4 inches or 200 feet tall. But over 4 inches thick, you can't touch. Huh, can you? Yeah, I know some of your ordinances, and you people know why. Come after me. I still have the list of everything you drive by to come to my house. And I drove around the other day on the bicycle to see if they're still there. And some of them are still there. So I know a little bit about that code book. You know why? Because you used all these laws against me. But you know what you didn't do to me? You never protected my life from the, almost the wrong word. Yeah, you allowed me to be terrorized for months on end. Trespass, 15 feet. I don't even own my own property, but you want to come on it and cut everything down. But I can't even stop people from going on it.
That's all right.
Thank you. And close this public hearing and request a motion.
I'll make it.
Go ahead.
Move to adopt ordinance 2026-01 as presented.
I have a motion on the floor made by Commissioner Stokes to adopt ordinance number 2026-01 as presented. Do I have a second? And I have a second from Commissioner Duval. If there's no discussion, please vote. And that carries 5-0. Moving on to ordinance number 2026-02. City Clerk, can you read by title only, please?
Ordinance number 2026-02, an ordinance of the City of Northport, Florida, adjusting the Commission's base salary rate, amending the Code of the City of Northport, Florida, Section 2-23, Declaration of Salary, Payment, providing for findings, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. City Manager, this is your item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. During the City Commission regular meeting held on January 13th of 2026, the City Commission heard ordinance number 2026-02. Staff has revised the signature block of the original ordinance after the first reading to reflect the current mayor. The adoption date was also changed from February 10th, 2026 to February 24th, 2026 to match the motion for second reading made at the Commission regular meeting on January 13th. Our recommended action for this reading is for you to choose option 1, which is adopt ordinance number 2026-02. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Commission questions, discussions? If not, City Clerk, do we have any public comment?
Nice to be able to vote yourself a raise, huh, guys? I'll tell you one thing, it says 66,000. I think out in California, some of those people are making 700 grand. It's a joke what we pay, you civil servants. Especially what you just did to us. You just passed the law and said you can come to anybody's property and do anything you want and mail them a bill. Are you gonna mail them a letter first and give them time to take care of it? No. You get to vote yourself a raise. Must be nice. Must be nice to sit up there and hire people like the police officers behind me, send them to my house, harass me. Must be nice to make a lot of money, to steal people's property, to harass them, to have the police enforce laws that don't even exist. 15 feet, huh? Your no trespass orders are worthless in this state. Rick Scott, DeSantis, it's all their fault too, I'll be honest with you. DeSantis, do something. How come if you can go to Walmart, the Walmart can shoot and kill you if you steal something, but I can't protect my own property? How come Donald Trump, it wasn't even at Mar-a-Lago, they can shoot and kill somebody on his property for trespassing? I'm sorry, guys. I had guns put to my head on my own property for made up crap. Happened again a couple days ago. They didn't put guns to my head this time, but there was a bunch of made up crap. We'll get that too at the end. But I'm telling you, I can't accept any pay rate increase for nobody up here. I'm sorry. Why should we? You don't protect this industry. You protect the corporations. You protect everybody else. But you don't protect personal property. You don't protect people. And I'm going back when I was standing in the police station and saw those people walking in the door. Now, one cop came out and talked to those people. They talked on the phone or they talked to the thing. I see cops sitting on the side of the road running license plates all day long. See, the difference between me and you, I just think policing should be different. I think they should actually go after criminals, not after people not wearing seatbelts. You know what I mean? I don't think they should be sitting on the side of the road running everybody's license plate so it can go to 100,000 data centers and everybody can make up your life story based on whatever you guys put in the computer. Because that's exactly what's going on. So no raise, if you ask me.
Thank you. I'm going to close this public hearing and request a motion. No, sir, not at this time.
I'll make it.
Go ahead.
I move to adopt ordinance 2026-02 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor made by Commissioner Stokes to adopt ordinance number 2026-02 as presented, and that was seconded by Vice Mayor. If there's nothing to that, please vote. And that passes 5-0. Moving on to item C, resolution number 2026-R-14, City Clerk, can you read this one by title only, please?
Resolution number 2026-R-14, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Northport, Florida, amending City Commission Policy number 2021-05 related to commission meeting schedules, notices, and agendas, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Why, thank you. Ms. Faust, this is your item.
So, yes, I brought this back to you because when the ULDC was changed, prior to the ULDC being changed under consent agenda, it had language allowing for resolutions to approve final plats to be on the consent agenda. With the change in the ULDC, they're approved administratively now, so it was no longer needed in this policy, and that's why we brought it back.
Thank you. Any questions, Commissioners? Public comment, City Clerk?
Tim Doyle?
I guess I will support this. And I'm going to tell you why. When Miss Langdon, if I'm saying that right? Langdon, I'm sorry. When you were mayor and you violated my constitutional rights in this room and wouldn't let me speak, the former lawyer didn't do their job. I don't know why we're paying that lawyer. I could have sued you on that one. You ran over here and said, I'm not letting him talk to them. I don't drink, so I don't have wet brain. I remember it. I'll throw words right back in your face. And the reason why I'm going to support this is the only one up here who knew you were breaking the law in the United States Constitution was the clerk. Because the clerk got up and ran over there to the lawyer, but nothing was ever done about it. So I appreciate the clerks knowing the law and doing their business, and I'll back them up any time of the day.
Okay, I'm going to close this public hearing and request a motion.
I'll make it.
Go ahead.
I move to adopt resolution number 2026-R-14 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor made by Vice Mayor to adopt resolution number 2026-R-14 as presented. That was seconded by Commissioner Stokes. If there's nothing to that, please vote. And that passes 5-0. Moving on to general business. Item number 26-0419, discussion and possible action regarding approaching the Sarasota County School District about underutilized space at Heron Creek Middle School campus. This was requested by Commissioner Duvall. I will give this to City Manager first, and then Commissioner Duvall can speak.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will turn it over to Commissioner Duvall.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen. We all attended a convocation of governments where we basically sat and listened to the Sarasota County School District about financial problems that they're having as a result of some laws up above this commission. The basic problem is that if there is a school in Sarasota County that is being underutilized, then a charter school can come in and use that space for free. Now, when a $9,000 voucher goes out to a parent and a parent puts their child in a charter school, that's money that doesn't go to the public school. The public school still has to pay for the janitors, still has to pay for the upkeep, still has to pay for the electricity, you know, the air conditioning, the heat, security. This is hurting our public school system. So they had a list at that meeting of schools in Sarasota County that are being underutilized. in the city of Northport, one school was mentioned, and that's the Heron Creek Middle School. So I had a thought, maybe the city should investigate a possible use for that underutilized space. Now, just on my own, I came up with a number of different possibilities. You know, maybe our police department. What? The schools have their own police department, and our police carry guns. There may be an issue there, so that might not work. Heron Creek Middle School is located right across the street from our high school, just down the street from Glen Allen Elementary School. Is there a possibility maybe some classroom from there could be moved to the middle school? We have a lot of city departments that are short on space. Our emergency operations group was operating out of a closet. There are issues, you know, not everyone, because of security reasons, not everyone can just go on school property and enter the schools. I went and addressed fourth graders at Toledo Blade Elementary School. Before I went there, they had to do a background check on me. You know, I had to be okay to do that. So security is a consideration, but there are other things. There's a possibility, maybe that unused space could just be used for storage. Right now, if we go into the city clerk's office, we see a bunch of boxes that are there. And I'm sure we have holiday decorations that need places for storage. These are just possibilities. What I'm getting at is, and what I'm asking is, that we direct staff to get together with Sarasota County School District and investigate what possible uses, you know, look and see what those unused spaces are and see if there's any way we could help them out. There's even a possibility of, you know, if there's any small, we heard during that presentation, they talked about pod schools. Pod schools are basically, if you have someone that homeschools their children, maybe they homeschool their neighbor's children too. Put it all together, that's called a pod school. Maybe we could find someone in a pod school that wants to rent space in the school. Not for free, you know, rent. But anyway, I would just like to ask that our city staff investigate, see what's available, and then get back to us with, you know, any possibilities where we could do something to help out the school district.
Got it? Thank you, sir. Commissioner Langdon,
Thank you, Mayor.
or Vice Mayor, sorry. I was doing so well.
You were too. I had a number of questions and you answered them in your explanation. I guess my major question would be, I don't know what limitations the school board and administration might have for the types of uses of that. As I recall from that same meeting, they did sort of share what they were doing in some of the other schools in Sarasota that had excess space. But I think it's a creative idea if it's something that would be allowable. And so, I mean, I'd be supportive of at least finding out, would they be interested? I mean, one thought I had, if it still needed to be an educational use, maybe our art center could do classes there. So I'd be willing, you know, doing a little half step. I don't think I'd want staff spending a whole lot of time, but checking in with the school board to see if perhaps, you know, what types of activities might be allowed, and if they might be interested. It's certainly worth a phone call, I think.
Commissioner Stokes.
On the surface, I mean, a good thought because, you know, if there's a way to help them out, that would be great. I know Dr. Kemp and Terry Connor have a pretty good plan, as they highlighted to us, to sort of realign some of their administrative processes to some of the schools that have space available. So I think they have a master plan as to how to solve this for themselves, but there's sure no reason why we couldn't direct, say, city manager to call Dr. Kemp and Terry Connor and the superintendent and say, hey, is there anything we could do to help? We have space constraints, and we might be able to help each other if it's allowable. Like I say, I don't know, you brought up a number of things that are of consideration there, security being the biggest, but I wouldn't have a problem if city manager or his designee reached out and find out whether or not there's something we could do here, because it's a good thought. It's a good thought. So
All right, I see nothing else. Do we have any public comment?
To me, Hebron Middle School is a prison. Schools down here look like prisons. They don't look like schools to me. I don't understand it at all, if you want to know the truth. But there is something that could move out of this building if they had a lot of room over there at the Hebron Creek. You need, again, we're Northport, right? Largest city in Sarasota County by population and area. Is that correct, guys? Tell me if I'm wrong. If I ever say anything wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Maybe the motor vehicles should move out of here, move into the school, so people can walk into motor vehicles anytime they want and get something. I don't know why in Northport we always have to make appointments. So to your guys' point, there is a lot of uses for that. If they need money, damn, we can have the tax collector give the school a little bit more money if they need to use some of the rooms. Or move the tax man over there instead of here. Give you more room building here. I don't know. But reality is, it's a school that looks like a prison, and you guys are up there worried about telling me that anybody goes there has to background check. So if anybody walks in that school and needs a background check, I don't see how you could use it for a city building. I don't even understand why you need a background check to go into a school. When I was a kid, anybody could walk into a school. Do you know they had voting machines in the school? That's how we learned about voting. But then in Northport, they told me I couldn't vote. Do you know why they told me I couldn't vote? My signature didn't match. But they had no signature on file for me. You know why? Because you guys don't, you have computers for everything. You just have registration cards. Hold it up and you get the signature. So I don't know what you want to do with this space, but if you need a background check, then it's useless. But anybody in this city who pays taxes to that school should be able to walk on that property and walk in that school because we own it. We pay for it. You guys are just stewards. And that's the problem here. You guys all think you own everything. You're stewards. So it might be a good idea to use the excess space, but if you need a background check, the cops are going to be pretty busy doing background checks.
That's all, Mayor.
Thank you. Nothing else. I'm going to request a motion.
I'll make it.
Go ahead, sir.
I move to direct the city manager to work with staff to engage with the superintendent of Sarasota County Schools to discuss underutilized space at the Heron Creek Middle School campus.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor to direct the city manager to work with staff to engage with the superintendent of Sarasota County Schools to discuss underutilized space at the Heron Creek Middle School campus. That was made by Commissioner Duvall, seconded by Vice Mayor Langdon. If nothing to that, please vote. passes 5-0. Moving on to item B, 26-0416, discussion regarding administrative safeguards for permit processing and development services interactions involving elected officials and related parties. Mr. Fletcher, this is your item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As we begin the discussion, I want to clearly define what this item is and what it is not. This is not a fact-finding request. It's not a determination of credibility, nor is it an accusation of misconduct. And no commission action is being requested tonight. This item is for discussion and transparency purposes only. Recently, the commission made it clear to me not to try to problem solve challenges with individual commissioners, but instead bring it to the attention of the board. And that's why I created the item. We are at a unique point since I have been here where we have a city commissioner that does business in the city of Northport. Any commissioner has that right to do business in the city of Northport. In doing so, controls should be put in place to ensure transparency and staff is not put in a position of receiving undue political pressure. Therefore, this item addresses administrative safeguards when an elected official's business intersects with the city's operations. Northport operates under a council manager form of government, and the charter establishes a clear separation. The commission sets policy and staff administers operations. That separation exists to prevent political pressure, perceived influence, favoritism, and fear within the workforce. Recently, there were conflicting accounts regarding an interaction involving a permit application associated with the sitting commissioner. One account from staff, a different account from others involved. Respectfully, I'm not going to debate individual recollections from the dais. That would not serve the city. In the backup information for this item, it includes conflicting accounts. This alone should justify documentation safeguard needs. Even if no one intended pressure, safeguards are appropriate. Even if no name was invoked, safeguards are still appropriate. And even if every party acted professionally, safeguards are still appropriate. Several employees have expressed discomfort attaching their names to the matter. That just reflects the hierarchy in local government. An elected official sits several levels above line employees in the organizational structure. Even absent any explicit threat, the perceived imbalance alone can create hesitation on their behalf. Employees should never have to choose between doing their job and protecting their career. That is why structural safeguards exist, to insulate employees from political pressure, whether intended or perceived. To protect both the organization and the commission from allegations of improper influence, the following administrative safeguards are being implemented. We want to implement dual staff interaction protocol. Any future in-person interactions within development services or any department involving anyone representing the commissioner's business or related parties will have at least 2 city employees present, one preferably a supervisor, if available. Documentation requirement, all interactions will be documented as the interaction occurs in writing. Commission transparency notification, when permit applications or development paperwork is submitted bearing any commissioner's name, the city manager will notify the commission to ensure transparency and avoid any future allegations of preferential processing. There also should be strict procedural neutrality. All submissions will continue to be processed in accordance with standard timelines and procedures applicable to all contractors so they are treated fairly and equally. These measures are structural, preventative, and apply equally to any commissioner. The purpose tonight is simple: protect staff from perceived influence, protect commissioners from allegations, and protect the integrity of our process. That is my responsibility under the charter. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. All right, commission, questions, discussion? Commissioner Petro.
Just a quick question. I have more to say, but just to start with a question and then open up for discussion. So the city manager, what exactly are you proposing and how do we proceed as a board?
Commissioner Petro, I'm not proposing anything for the commission to do tonight. This is just information for you on what we're doing as a team and our staff to make sure that the situation that happened, whether you believe my team or you believe your team, we can all agree that something happened that we don't want to repeat itself. If we put stronger administrative processes in place, I think that we can do that, and we can make sure that none of us are accused of either fast tracking or slow tracking something that one of our commissioners has submitted.
Anything else? Vice Mayor, I almost said it, Vice Mayor Langdon.
Wow, I wish I had a suggestion for this, but this is a really interesting conundrum for us to be in. In my experience, which is somewhat limited, maybe 8 years really watching city government, I don't think we have had a commissioner who was either working for or owned a company doing business in the city. Typically, it was a situation like most of us up here, we're retired and for a variety of reasons wanted to serve in this way to give back, or younger commissioners were willing to give up whatever their line of work was and dedicate themselves full-time to being a Northport City Commissioner. So for me, this is just so outside my realm of experience in what to do. And I'm not sure, while I'm not opposed to what city manager is going to do administratively. I'm not sure it would resolve this kind of situation. And what I sort of fall back on is when one of us up here has some type of interest in the outcome of a vote, either a fight, and I mean the statutes are pretty clear, probably city clerk might refresh us, but you know, we are not to vote on any matter where we or family members or business interests could benefit from the outcome of that vote. So I don't know if, and we need to do that publicly. I mean, we need to state publicly because we are required to vote on everything except in those situations. So I'm not sure if similar logic could apply here. So, and I'm not sure it's just development services. I mean, I could think of a city commissioner for a variety of reasons trying to get staff to do something that might be misaligned with policy or might put the city or that commissioner at risk for an ethics violation. It's not just the commissioner that can get in trouble, staff can get in trouble if they do things in a way, you know, to make a commissioner happy that they wouldn't do for any business or person who would come in with that request. So I don't know. I mean, if someone's doing business with the city and they come in to do a standard function, then it should be treated like a standard function. For me, where we start moseying into a gray area is if that commissioner or one of their agents or one of their employees or one of their business partners wants the city to reverse a decision or do something in a way that is different or contrary to how we would handle the request of any business, should we make that known publicly? I mean, I'm not quite sure what the resolution of that should be. Should that come to commission? I mean, clearly that's against our charter. We are not to make requests of city staff. And to do something to reverse a decision or to make a decision differently than we would handle any situation might require some larger or more public scrutiny. I don't know what the answer is, but I wonder if, I'm sure there have been municipalities in this state who perhaps ran wild at some point in their past where it truly was you needed to know someone in order to get something done. Were there any municipalities that suffered from that And then what did they do to clean their shops up? So are there any other municipalities who have addressed this kind of issue? The kinds of safeguards they might put into place when a sitting commissioner is involved, and when you own a company or you're employed by a company, then clearly the material interest is there. That's not a question. But boy, if people don't police themselves, I'm at a loss as to what we do. And I'm just wondering if there might be another municipality in the state who has faced, and I'm not saying this is corruption, but you know, other municipalities who have had issues with unlawful, unethical requests by a commissioner or council person to staff, and what are they doing about it? I mean, this is just so outside my experience since I've been involved in city government. I mean, I'm interested in what my other commissioners have to say. I mean, it just puts everybody in such a bad position. And the risks are high. I mean, the risk of ethical complaint, and it has nothing to do with someone's intention. It has nothing to do with the actual event. If we behave in a way that even gives the appearance of favoritism, we really open ourselves up as a city to legal action and ethical action. So I don't know, that would be my thought, is there other municipalities who have perhaps put in some safeguards to prevent this type of thing from happening? Does anyone know?
Not at this time.
Not at this time.
The one thing that I was going to say, I'll get back to you for your second round, was when Mr. Fletcher was speaking, he was talking about the safeguards that he was putting into place to where, you know, a couple staff members, one preferably a supervisor, to handle these things. And I remember back when Ian came through, I happened to be the mayor at the time, and everybody was, you know, pretty much messed up with their houses, going for permits and stuff like that. And I wouldn't have wanted, and I told them I needed a new fence, I needed, you know, stuff picked up. And I remember talking with the deputy city manager quite a few times, asking him, I don't want that truck coming down my road just because of me, but do you know about when we're gonna be on that cycle? Because I didn't want preferential treatment. I wanted to wait in my turn in line. When I needed my fences, I said, I don't need to be at the top of the list. I want to wait my turn. Because I didn't want it misconstrued that I was using my power over the building department to get my stuff done as soon as possible just because I wanted it done. It wouldn't have been fair to anybody else that was in line out there. And by putting those safeguards in, you know, the building department's a small department, and I'm sure you can hear what's going on in one area over to another area. And if somebody happens to be another builder, developer, or just going in to get a shed permit, and the name of a commissioner comes up and they go, oh, we got to rush this through because Commissioner so-and-so put this in there, then this individual starts putting it on Facebook, and then everybody looks at it as something that's been being misconstrued. So safeguards, in my opinion, are good to have in place. And I think by what you're saying is through the staff, which you're in charge of, and how to regulate staff and what staff should be doing, that is the proper way of doing things. On our behalf, we got to keep to our own as well and keep our house in sync going forward when we do go for either even renting a park. You know, you never know. Oh, so-and-so already booked it. Okay, no, it's me. I want it. No, it can't happen that way. But Commissioner Petro?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. It's interesting that we're talking about the preferential treatment. And when I was elected, I never wanted to have a preferential treatment. And as a matter of fact, when I'm wearing a city logo short with my name, I have a second T-shirt in my car if I go public places. I don't want people to treat me differently from anybody else. But I always wanted to have a preferential treatment of truth because I prefer truth. And when we say that there's no accusation, and I tend to disagree, and I want to read a couple things. On Friday, the email that circulated and was sent to the commissioners, on Friday, January 23rd, Mr. Timothy Drum, engineer, visited the building division, representing himself on behalf of the applicant, Commissioner Petro. Mr. Drum forcefully and publicly insisted that the chief building official and building division staff were liars, and that the chief building official was wrong, that new plans needed current Florida building code should be not required. Mr. Drum repeatedly invoked Commissioner Petro's name with overtures of negative consequences for staff for not approving the commissioner's permit as is. I look at this, and this is fairly heavy accusation, both against Tim Drum, and my name got involved in this. So I just wanted to, if the city clerk can show that on the screen, because this has to be addressed, and I really have a preference for truth, and I want to get to the thing that really bothers me. But I concur completely with Commissioner Langton. Nobody should be given preferential treatment, and I never intended or desired to be treated differently. So in the red, you see the accusation, and this is a public accusation against Tim Drum, because it's a public meeting. So, and this was an attachment. It's a public meeting, so this is direct accusation of 1, 2, 3, whatever. He called them liars. He invoked my name repeatedly, and there would be some consequences if not. So then I wait a few days and I write a response. And good thing I waited a couple of days, because otherwise I would be violating the Sunshine Law. Then it would be a completely different setting. But what I did write is, and bear with me because this is very important to me, because I don't want to rush through this, because it involves my name, involves me and my official capacity and as a resident, and I take it very seriously. So I wrote back to the staff, copying staff, and obviously I wrote to Jerome Fletcher, the city manager. So I'm writing, and my email is, I'm writing in direct response to the email circulated on Tuesday, January 27th, which contains several false and defamatory statements about me and all involving my name. And now we get to this, we start with she said, he said, but this is my affidavit, if you will, so I want to read it out loud for the citizens, because it is a public meeting. So for the record, and I'm going to be skipping, but my response is attached in supporting documents under this agenda item. So I'm just going to skim through. Demetrius Petro, Commissioner for the City of Northport, Florida, have never instructed, asked, or directed Mr. Drum or anyone else to advocate on my behalf, on behalf of my interests, or on behalf of the Daniel Petro, who's my brother, the property owner, in any matter. I have no ownership interest or equity stake of any kind in the properties owned by Daniel Petro or his company, including those two referenced properties. That is two properties that drive already, but they were abandoned, and my brother acquired them. But I want to go on and say a little bit about myself, because of my unique family situation with our special needs adults child. I really needed to have flexible hours. I master remodeling trade, really. And in the state of Florida, you cannot change a window or exterior door without being a certified licensed contractor. in Sarasota County, you cannot replace 3 or more drywall sheets, sheetrock, drywall, and that's a Sarasota ordinance, without being a state certified license holder, not registered. You have to be state certified license holder. So I went and took a test and got the license before I was elected. I just want to point out that this is my personal achievement, and I want to go through a sequence of events, how we got here, because that is very important to me. So I want to, first I want to read I went and requested affidavits, not requested, but asked for affidavits of both from Tim Drum and my brother Daniel, and I'm going to be reading, and again I'll be skipping if you can show that affidavit. I'm Timothy Drum, P, a licensed professional engineer in the state of Florida operating through Drum Engineering. Brought up, reference, or used in any matter. I made no statement brought up, reference, or used in any matter. I made no statements, suggestions, or overtures regarding negative consequences for staff, or any similar implication over or implied if the permit were not approved as is, or in any particular way. No threats, warnings, or references to consequences were made by me at any time. The statements made in this affidavit are true and correct based on my own personal knowledge and recollection of the events. I make this affidavit freely and voluntarily without any duress or coercion for the purpose of refuting certain false and defamatory allegations according to my conduct and statements during the January 23rd, 2026 discussion, notarized and sworn. And then I do want to jump into the email section because it's all public record, and email exchange between Elena Ray and Kyle Hoffman. And this just shows a different story, completely different story. So Kyle Hoffman, zoning coordinator, wrote to Elena Ray on January 30th, and she said, "Good morning. On Friday, January 23rd, 2026, I witnessed an interaction between building official David Greenbaum and Tim Drum while I was assisting with ensuring 2 separate building permits were in the correct status of a planning and zoning review. During the discussion regarding the status of the permits and the applicable building code requirements, there was a tense moment. Mr. Greenbaum was addressing Mr. Drum and the contractor of record concerning a building code interpretation related to the permit status. After that portion of the discussion concluded, Mr. Drum stated that Mr. Greenbaum had been wrong previously and did not apologize. Different matter. Then placed the document on account of sufficient force to create an audible slap, like I just did. Mr. Drum further stated that he believed Mr. Greenbaum, building official, was wrong again and asked whether Mr. Greenbaum would apologize if BOF determination ruled against his position. That is Building Official Association of Florida. It's a binding directory opinion that has to be, that resolves. So following the exchange, the conversation de-escalated and the parties concluded their discussion. Mr. Drum thanked me and shook my hand, then introduced me to Daniel, who also thanked me and shook my hand for assisting in getting the CZC, Certificate of Zoning Compliance, to the correct status. At that time of interaction, I was not aware that Daniel was related to Commissioner Petro. I became aware of that relationship only after they left. And there's a reply from Elena Ray. Kyle, thank you for providing this. Would you be able to clarify the highlighted section? It states the contractor of record was there. Commissioner Petro is the contractor of record. If the contractor was not there, do you recall any mention of the contractor? Best regards. And Kyle replies, Elena, I should have stated that the individual present was an applicant on the record, not the contractor of record. That is the owner. The two records in question were blah, blah, blah. At this time of the interaction, I assumed the individual was the contractor of record as he was present with Tim Drum, and Daniel provided the application numbers for me to review. There was no specific mention made during the interaction identifying who the contractor of record was for either application. So Kyle Hoffman, who's a zoning coordinator, confirms that there was no mentioning of any name. He was present there from the beginning, and I want to read, and Tim Drum, being a business professional, he followed up with Kyle on his side and emailed the question to him, and that is, I want to read this email from Drum Engineering, Tim Drum, Tuesday, February 17, 2026, to Kyle Hoffman. Kyle, would you please send over, I'll skip that. Kyle, so, yes. So I want to read this. Did I ever use the second paragraph? Did I ever once use Commissioner Demetrius Petrow's name at all, or in any fashion? Did I ever try to exert pressure on Mr. Greenbaum or any city staff from a political standpoint, on any standpoint at all, by using Commissioner Petrow's name? Did I ever call Mr. Greenbaum a liar in that public meeting in question? Is there anything, I'm skipping to the last paragraph, is there anything else you remember that was said in the meeting that would attest to how I portrayed myself? Please add it. I apologize, but I have to take this time, and I'll read the response from Kyle, dated February 18th, 2026. And it says, Tim, and I'll read the highlighted version. During the discussion between you and Mr. Greenbaum, I do not recall you calling him a liar. I do recall you stating that he had been wrong previously, did not apologize for it, and that he was wrong again in this instance. At that point, you placed your hand and a piece of paper on the counter with enough force to create a sliding sound, as if expressing frustration. You asked Mr. Greenbaum if he would admit he was wrong, if the BOF determined that his ruling was incorrect. The conversation was de-escalated rather quickly, and the status of the application updated to acceptable status at that time, which I will have to clarify this. They reached an agreement on the spot. If the inspections were made by a third party, the permit did not need to be start from zero. So basically, saving thousands of dollars. And I'm going to read the last, if you go up. I do not recall Commissioner Petrow's name being mentioned at any point. Nor did I have any knowledge that the gentleman you were with was related to him. I was not aware of the fact until after the conversation had ended and all parties had left. At that time, I did not recall the specific of the discussion other than that it related to building code discrepancy. I was only able to better understand the subject matter after reviewing the email. The guy didn't even know that the commissioner's brother was there. The commissioner's name was, and this is your staff, Mr. Jerome Fletcher, this is your staff, confirming otherwise. And I want to go further. Then I'll skip it, but this is what I have to say. This is, by making this public, and this is, first I want to say this. Elena Ray, who's a director, and I was told that she's a drama-free, she trusted Mr. Greenbaum, but why Director Ray sent emails to Kyle Hoffman days afterwards, where he clearly states he did not collaborate the story you or she portrayed in her email to the commissioners. And City Manager Jerome Fletcher, why did you take Elena Ray's email at face value and did not double check yourself the facts with the witnesses being present there? I know this individual. He's been with the city working, not with the city, with providing to the citizens of this city services through his firm. The firm is close to 40 years old. And this is how we taint the name of prestigious personnel, no matter, and I know I came to realize once I was elected that there's been a feud between Tim Drum and Jerome Fletcher way before I was elected. And as I just want to confirm, is Tim Drum on any of our advisory boards? City Clerk?
He's on 2 of them, Environmental Advisory Board and Community Economic Development Advisory Board, I believe.
And isn't he a chair on one of those boards?
Environmental.
Now, I've been hearing from city manager that Tim Drum causes trouble and not a friend of the city numerous times, and I'm sure he told not just me as a commissioner, but to other commissioners. Is that true that he causes any problems on advisory boards? That's what Jerome Fletcher told me personally. Is that true, City Clerk?
There was an email that I sent commission, I want to believe it was in December, where there were 2 board members that their personalities conflicted. It was Mr. Drum and another board member that was on there. We addressed it with the board, the staff liaison, and the chair at that time to see how we could move forward to make sure that they just weren't cutting each other off when they were talking and that they were just open to each other's ideas. And since then, there has not been that issue.
And if I'm correct, the other board member was always cutting off Mr. Drum's speech when he wanted to say something. So he's the chair on one of the boards.
He is now the chair on that board, yes.
And you've witnessed board sessions from time to time, right? And
When it was brought to my attention that there was a conflict, I listened to that meeting, and then I attended 2 meetings after that to make sure that they were going on the right path.
So
and I listened to all the environmental board meetings after they happen.
So my question is, Kyle Hoffman corroborated that those emails were not true, and why Director Ray sent emails to Kyle Hoffman days afterwards where he clearly states he did not collaborate. Stories she portrayed in her email. And Mr. Jerome Fletcher, why did you take Elena Ray's email at face value? You did not double check yourself with other staff that was present there. The whole front desk was there. I think there are 3 people sitting at the front desk. Why was not any confirmation or fact checked with those people, or for that matter, with Kyle? Kyle was there the whole time. This is not how the city should run. I think it's on purpose to smear his name. I think I want to defend this person's credibility and the name. We just open up another door of a lawsuit by putting this public, because this is made public and this is direct accusation, not against me. If I've done anything wrong, tell me. Ethics violations. By this time, I took 3.5 courses, full courses of ethics. I quickly learned how to behave ethically. I've never asked. I've never done any business with the city. By the way, the email mentions that I met with the city staff on some other project or development. I never met with anybody. I always meet with Jerome, and if I need anything, I ask Jerome, can I meet with that person? And it's always in the presence of a city manager or deputy or assistant manager. So at the very least, I've been I've been accused of ethics and propriety. And I say it loosely because whoever accuses, don't have to prove anything. Does not have to give you specifics, just like this perfect example. But if we want to put safeguards, I am all for the safeguards, but that's not the way we do it. This is a complete contradiction, not by me or Mr. Drum, who represented me. He came as advisor capacity for my brother because of his knowledge as engineer. The guy designed and helped over 12,000 houses in the city of Northport. That's like 1/4, 1/5 of all the houses. And we're defaming his name over and over again. But I want to get to this, and it's probably a different topic for another day. But the feud started long before me. When Mr. Drum was told that he is required to submit geotechnical surveys for each house that is being constructed. So he challenged David Greenbaum, who is a city official, building official. So the building official told him to get a ruling, declaratory statement before Florida's building commission, which is like a state bar, if you will. So it's a building official association of Florida. They work together with DBPR, Department of Public and Professional Regulation Department. And he was told, once you get the ruling from Building Official Association of Florida, we're going to drop those geotechnical surveys, which cost about $2,000 on average for every permit. And Mr. Drum could take advantage and charge his clients and just reap the financial benefit. But he stuck for the people, for the taxpayers, and challenged Mr. Greenbaum and said, listen, the code does not require those geotechnical surveys. And Mr. Greenbaum said otherwise, and he was interpreting Florida building code as opposed to Florida residential code. So Mr. Drum went and got the informal interpretation report. And the question, when the structure is designed under Florida building code, residential volume, specifics, and the answer is no. Please see attached commentary. So he provided this ruling from DBPR and Building Official Association of Florida to David Greenbaum. And David Greenbaum said, no, the neighboring municipalities require, so shall we. And my predecessor did not require. I know better. I'm paraphrasing. So this doesn't fly. Get me a binding one. Mr. Drum filed for a binding declaratory statement, paid the money, waited 6 months, got the binding ruling, brought it to Mr. Greenbaum and said, Mr. Greenbaum, you should drop these geotechnical surveys that are required only for hangars and like commercial stuff, construction projects, but not residential. Mr. Greenbaum said, no, will not do it. And then somebody approached Mr. Jerome Fletcher and said, listen, you gotta drop this. And the next day it was dropped. But that individual had his own interest, not affiliated with the city, not affiliated with Tim Drum. So that cost the taxpayers over close to 2 years in millions of dollars. Individually, they were paying from $1,000 on average to $3,000 per geotechnical survey. So that's where the feud started. I've started to understand why his name had to be completely smeared with this nonsense, which is completely not supported by the factual information that I did it. It's all public record. Email exchange between Elena Ray and Kyle Hoffman. And I don't mean to, I was not planning to talk about geotechnical surveys and all that stuff, you know, now that it's public record, we open door to one lawsuit that he's accused of invoking my name, making threats, applying political pressure. We open up a second door of a lawsuit for Mr. Drum to sue on behalf of the geotechnical, because that's public information. Not to mention non-disclosure agreement, which was in the process of signing by the city for competition purposes. And that was blown. And I know exactly what, you know, if you want, I can go into details, but it's an own attachment of the document. So 3 doors of a potential lawsuit. Do we go on and on with lawsuits? Don't we have enough of lawsuits in our city? Why defaming somebody's name? Really, I don't really care what you say about me. At this point, I'll serve with integrity, and I will serve the people of the city of Northport. I did not instruct them, and they did not invoke my name. Kyle's emails prove it. Elena Ray's emails to him asking proves it. There was another individual present, Cody Crawford, I think, but he came into midpoint of conversation. So he missed some of it, but he heard. So I say all this to say this. Do we need another lawsuit? Do we need another mess in our city commission? Do we, if we need safeguards, we could have done it much better way and not make up story. I just want to, I did not initiate this. I didn't want to expose anybody. But, you know, I'm bringing this to the light, so for nothing is secret that will not be revealed, nor anything hidden that will not be known or come to light. I think that's, you know, at this point, you know, we have lawsuits after lawsuits, settlement after settlement. I don't want to name them, but if we need to, I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Hoffman is going to be let go a few weeks later, and he's going to sue the city for the same reason. We have Kim Williams' lawsuit. We have.
Let's stick to the topic,
yes,
sir.
Yes. So my topic is I'm clearing my name, clearing Tim Drum's name, because he did not do that, what was stated in the email. And I almost got trapped. I almost got trapped if I would reply to all of them, the people that listed that the email was sent. I would violate Sunshine Law, which I know, you know, the first thing I was shown this email by the city manager, he told me, you got to talk to the city attorney. I'm wrapping up. I did talk to the city attorney, and city attorney told me, yeah, you can reply to anybody you want. But you know, a few days later, I see that it's going to be an agenda item. And if I did reply to all, I would be a much, much different situation that I am right now. I would be violating the Sunshine Law. Because if I replied to the city commission, but I did reply and I excluded the city commissioners. So I have more to say, but for the sake of time, I don't have much to say. I regret that it got to this point. I don't know how it got twisted. I think the story had to be collaborated, fact-checked. At this point, I believe Tim Drum, because Kyle confirmed it. Completely confirmed. He didn't even know that they were related to me. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Stokes.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, you know, this is a real he said, she said.
Not really.
Excuse me, sir, please. I listened through your conversation. Now it's my turn, sir. Okay?
We have an email from a director of this city who says one thing. We have a response from a sitting commissioner who says the exact opposite. Somebody isn't telling the truth. And I sure do have a hard time understanding why any member of staff wouldn't tell the truth. I mean, it's just a job for them. But that's not the issue here, because in order for us to determine who's actually telling the truth here, we would have to spend a lot of taxpayer money and a lot of time and a lot of work to have everybody deposed under oath, to have a full-blown investigation done at the taxpayer's expense to decide. And even if we found out that Commissioner Petro or his brother or his brother's designee wasn't telling the truth, what could we do? We don't have the authority on this dais to remove a sitting commissioner. So, unfortunately, this matter is going to be adjudicated or judged in a court of public opinion, which is a horrible thing, because in a court of public opinion, rarely does truth and honesty matter. It only matters what the optics say. People are going to ask, where did Commissioner Petro get this money to buy these half a dozen properties all within about a year? Why did he quit claim them to his brother for $100 a property? Why is the address of the LLC that they were quit claim to the Commissioner Petro's home address? People might ask the question, is this why Commissioner Petro's been asking for unfettered access to staff? You know, all these questions are going to be asked in the court of public opinion, and nobody's going to have the answer to them. And that's a shame. And what it does do is point to something that I recall just a couple of meetings ago, Commissioner Petro said. He said he doesn't trust government. He says, who trusts government? Why would anybody trust government? Well, I submit to everybody that this is a perfect example of why people don't trust government. Thank you, Mayor. That's all I got to say on this matter at this time.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Duval.
Thank you, Mayor. Obviously, this is upsetting to everybody. I know it is to me. If one of we 5 commissioners breaks the law, then it should be addressed the same way any citizen is addressed when they break the law. If someone smashes the door of your empty house and enters, steals your property, then they should be arrested. And it should be adjudicated in a court of law. This was not done that way. This was done via an email. And that is not the proper way. The city manager says now in the future, we'll have safeguards. If a city commissioner is dealing with staff on whatever matter, some private business matter, then there should be a number of people present. You know, maybe cameras for all I know. I personally had an issue, I've spoken of it here before, where as a citizen, I went to Mr. Greenbaum's department to just ask a question about obtaining a permit for my own home. And Mr. Greenbaum, I've said this before, came out in a very unfriendly manner and sort of jumped on his employee What are you doing? What are you doing? What's going on? Didn't say hello to me. Was not very friendly. And when the lady trying to help me explained that I was just inquiring about getting a permit, they just turned around and said, okay, you can help him. And he went out back. Again, never spoke a word to me. In the past, Mr. Drum has applied for boards. And I have been spoken to by city staff that they prefer not to have him on a board. Statements have been made to me that, you know, he causes trouble for the city. To get this down to where an email has accusations, you know, against the city commissioner. This was totally the wrong way for this to be done. If a city commissioner is breaking some law, then it should be addressed through the law, not through what amounts to innuendo. This just should not have happened. If there are wrongs committed by anyone, you know, you have witnesses to bring it up into the, you know, the public court. As my fellow commissioner just stated, you know, now public opinion, now people are going to be looking at Commissioner Petro, saying, why did he do this? You know, why did he, you know, buy 6 properties? Why did he transfer? Guess what? It's nobody's business. That's his private business. And if he keeps that separate from his job as a commissioner, then it's nobody's business. And this should not have been done through emails, and, you know, there had to be retractions. There were retractions to that email. I can't say anything more than this was just wrong, done in the wrong manner, and if there's no proof that Commissioner Petro has broken any law, then he deserves an apology. Thank you.
Commissioner Petro.
Yes, I just want to finish with this. I respect the city manager's office. I have nothing against the city manager. What I have against is half-truth or lies, and this is not the truth that was presented in that email. It was refuted by multiple people, by sworn affidavits. In my reply, in my email, I said sworn affidavits. Now you know I didn't use an AI. But Mr. Drum did a sworn affidavit that can be used in the court of law. My brother did a sworn affidavit. I did my own reply that I can still do. I do believe this is wrong. I'm not trying to play games. I really serve with genuine heart. And I just have to wonder what's the motive or genuine motive behind this. As far as the address, my personal address being listed, well, first, I have not built a single house in the city of Northport. I'm still finishing up my own house, which is owner-builder house, not my license, not through my company's license, not through my individual license. And the house that I'm finishing up 3 years, and I still have not moved in, but I listed my brother's address as my current residence, so that's why he gets mail, because he lives with our mom still. So that's the answer to the public. Let the court of public opinion judge this. That's the only reason I listed his address as my personal address, because with my family situation, it's really hard to work besides being commissioner on my own house that I'm finishing. So I conclude with this. I really enjoy being commissioner. I really thrive to be more transparent. And this is good. Let the people see I'm fine with that. But the way it was done, it's not appropriate way. And I just wonder what's the motive behind that. And when it was refuted by multiple people, and let the people decide. But if I have done anything wrong, if I've done anything unethical, I can be referred to Ethics Commission. If I violated any sunshine law, state that. But this behind the scenes thing, I don't think it's appropriate. I would not want to do that to someone or be in that situation. But I'm more concerned about Mr. Drum's name, because his name is at stake, his reputation. His father started his business at 1989. He took over a few years later. He has done some favors for the city as an engineering firm long before all of us. He loves the city. He told me he loves the city. And this geotechnical thing, he didn't take advantage of the people and collected money. That's why he confronted Mr. Greenbaum. And by the way, when the requirement was dropped for geotechnical surveys, it was cited that because of neighboring communities do not require that. When he was told otherwise, that neighboring communities did require, or municipalities did require that. That's all I have. Thank you.
Commissioner Stokes, and then we're going to wrap up this.
I just wanted to ask Commissioner Petro a question, because nobody's actually asked him this. And I agree. I mean, to be judged in the court of public opinion is the worst possible thing. Commissioner Petro, would you like this body to authorize a full-blown legal investigation of this matter, where everyone involved right down to the staff is deposed and under oath, and we get to the bottom of this? I mean, it's going to cost some money. I don't think it's going to cost a fortune, but it's going to cost some money, and it would get to the bottom of everything. All the facts would come out unequivocally. Would that be your desire?
I certainly would not oppose to that. Certainly would not. If the board, this is the board's decision. If the board decides, I'm all for it. I'm not objecting. Not at all. Not at all. Do not object. I do not object.
All right, we're done with us. City Clerk, public comment?
I have Tim Doyle, Tim Drum, Tim Drum and Mark Brandt.
Obviously, some of you know my background, some of you don't. I've had, 30 to 40,000 people work for me over my career? Worked with me, for me, or vendors? And just sitting here listening to everybody, sounds like you handled this all wrong. I mean, if you're gonna do an investigation, it's a little late. Everybody's compromised. Everybody's already been talked to. Everybody already changed the stories. The one thing I will say about this, I know nothing about it. I will say, Mr. Fletcher, am I saying your name right, sir? The city manager? It's a very good topic to bring up. I have nothing bad to say about him for bringing it up. I will tell you in my 35-year career, so that was been 45 years ago I started, whatever. I've seen boards like you. I've seen building boards, all kinds of inspectors from the cities. And when they get a hair across their derriere, forget about it. I seen them go in there and tell one person they can paint a building red and the very next person they can't. I've seen lawsuit after lawsuit. I've been in meeting after meeting when people put their mouse in their foot or something like that. There needs to be some safeguard on this policy, that is correct. But it seems like you're all doing it for one reason, because of one instance. When you make rules and regulations, you don't do it on a whim. You don't do it because of one situation. You look at several situations and you come up with the right laws or the right way to do things. That's what I see down here is a big problem with the laws down here. You guys protect corporations, you don't protect citizens. You know, sitting here, I don't see any law that was broken. No money got handed in anybody to do anything wrong. It's a bunch of people who work together don't like each other. A bunch of inspectors who don't like each other or don't like a builder. Think that's the first time that happened? And special treatment for people like you? Damn, it happens every day. That's nothing new. We're tired of it. That's why I'm here. We're tired of all the special treatment. Have a great day.
Good evening. My name's Mark Franson. I'm a resident of the city of Northport. I've lived here since 2017. In all fairness or transparency, I passed out over 4,000 voter guides endorsing Dimitri for city commission. I invited him to multiple events where we allowed him to speak, allowed him to answer questions, and we believe that we've given him a fair shake. Now that I said that, I also have to say, yes, 3 meetings ago you said we can't trust government, your government. At this point in time, the red flag is raised. Whether it was an error, whether it was he said, she said, you know, we stand today in a circular firing squad because it is a he said, she said. But unfortunately, it's come to the surface and it has a stink to it. And someone made mention the optics. The optics. There was an issue. No law has been broken. Granted. But has special treatment been sought out? We have no idea. Because, again, we said, she said. In regards to sunshine law, and the reason these things keep happening or these questions keep arising is just a month ago, it was made mention from the dais that we have had a sunshine law broken when Dimitri made mention that he personally talked with David Duval. It's in our city records. Nothing's been done about that. It makes us start to scratch our head and wonder what is going on. And we understand that we're not professionally trained as politicians, although we do take courses, we do go to classes. I believe every year you do another class just on the sunshine law. But Dimitri, I don't know whether you have or haven't broken the sunshine law, but that is a statement that is not proper. And I have to tell you, we hear the statement constant, and it's just how it looks, the optics. We hear the constant statement from certain members of this board, it's for the people. This one looks like it is for the people. Only unfortunately, it's for the people under my roof, not of the city. And that becomes a majorly concern. I'm not asking you to resign, but I'm asking you to search your heart. I'm asking you to search it deeply. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. And to test the matter, I love the city of Northport. We're probably the firm that's done the most work in the city. My kids live here, they play here, grew up here. I mean, this is where I'm from. I love this place, and I deal with individuals, contractors every day that come to me, and they're like, this is not how the city of Northport used to be. It used to be easier to be here. It used to be easier to do business, work, and all that stuff. And I do remember that. I remember my dad teaching me how to do stuff. I remember the previous building officials and all this stuff. This is not how it used to be. I don't think this is how it should be moving forward either. I would like to see resolution. I like transparency. The only fact is there was transparency. There were multiple staff members that he's suggesting we should have had. They were there. And they have a test that I did not do what they are accusing me of. So yeah, I agree with Jerome Fletcher. There should be transparency. Unfortunately, it should be for the staff, because the staff did not handle this correctly. It should not have been sent out in an email. They are slandering my name. There's no question about it. Their bias towards me has been evident for years. And all I've ever done was try to stand up for the citizens of Northport, to stop them from having to pay extra money for things they do not need. And granted, I'm an engineer, and I'm telling them as an engineer, you don't need to pay engineers to do certain things. That doesn't make sense to you, does it? Like, you're making more money if I say yes. But I'm not here to make more money off the people. I'm here to stop corruption, stop things that shouldn't have happened in the first place. And I told the city, some of you commissioners, I wrote you an email years ago telling you about this issue. I'm like, this is a problem. You're causing thousands upon thousands of dollars for these people that aren't needed. It's not required in other local jurisdictions. I had building officials from Charlotte County, Sarasota County, all these things tell you it was not required. But no, then wash our hands. It's not our place to step in or do anything. I followed the rules. I got the rulings. They still weren't followed. And then eventually it just all went away, hush, hush, and hopefully no one remembers it. I think the city of Northport people deserve better than that. And I hope there is transparency. I hope there are answers. I'm not here to make a problem for the city of Northport. I didn't join boards to make a problem. I'm here to try to help. I've been educated. I've learned stuff. I've listened to people. And I try to take what I've known and make this place better. So I do thank you for your time. And again, I'm not here to make a problem. If you want character references, I can give plenty. You can talk to me yourself. Any day, come by, I'll make a cup of coffee. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. All right. Moving on to item C, 26-0431. Ms. Foss, will you let us know about this item, please?
This item was requested by Vice Mayor Langdon. She wanted to speak to it.
I saw that, but I wanted you to say it. Vice Mayor, this is your item.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. As we are all well aware, up in Tallahassee, decisions are being made for state appropriations for different organizations within the state. And at a recent board meeting at Teen Court, I sit on the board of Teen Court. The issue of appropriations came up, and the fact that I believe our chief has already submitted a supportive letter, he's nodding, to the governor to continue the state's support of Teen Court. And I believe the school board has done something similar. So at that board meeting, I offered to talk with all of you to see if you would also like to submit a letter to the board. And I thank city clerk staff for helping me pull a draft together. I believe it was attached to this agenda item. So if you would look it over and let me know if you're willing to do it. I would love to sign it since I'm a member of the board, but I know it is customary for our mayor to sign these kinds of letters or correspondences, and so I'm perfectly happy if the mayor signs it also, if we all agree to that letter of support. So what thinkest you?
Well, I think Commissioner Stokes thinkest first.
This is a good idea. I'm all for it.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Mayor.
I'm in support of it. Anybody else? Got any public comment?
Tim Doyle?
I guess the teen court is an alternative type of thing, am I right? I don't think locking up kids in jail is the right thing. I won't be honest with you. You take them and you put them with people that are worse than them, they just come out educated. So if there's programs out there that a teen could go to that might help them be better in life, and I'm all for it. I'm not gonna sit here. I've seen too many people go the wrong way. I grew up above a funeral home. I hate to tell you, I know some things about my friends, brothers and sisters, that they don't even know. Because I can't touch a body without a death certificate. And what goes around sometimes in town isn't exactly the truth. And there's a lot of problems out there. And the kid messes up. You got to figure out a way to get him on the right path, not put him with other people. So I'll leave this one alone on that. I support it. And I think these are the type of things that we should be doing in our community to help our people. Thank you.
I'll be looking for a motion.
I'm happy to make it.
Go right ahead.
I move to approve sending a letter of support on behalf of the city of Northport and its commission in support of the teen court program to the governor of Florida.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor made by Vice Mayor to approve sending a letter of support on behalf of the city of Northport in support of the teen court program to the governor of Florida. That was made by Vice Mayor Langdon, and that was seconded by Commissioner Duval. If there's nothing to that, please vote. And that passes 5-0. I'm going to pass the gavel to you. Want to make a motion? I'd like to make a motion to go outside of our normal procedures and have the vice mayor sign the letter going to the governor.
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor made by Mayor Emmerich and seconded by Commissioner Stokes to have the vice mayor sign the letter of support to the governor on behalf of teen court.
Now tell us to vote.
Go vote, children. And that passes 5-0, and thank you to the mayor for
You're more
allowing
than
me to
welcome.
sign
Now give me that back.
before you hit me with it.
All right, moving on, general public comment.
Debbie McDowell? I'll be quick. At the last meeting, the very first amendment to the new ULDC was approved 3-2 to allow 24/7 activities in the CT and corridor zoning districts. The first motion was a compromise, but it failed. You were told the reasons to approve this amendment was to bring in jobs and increase tax base. All true, but at the expense of residential homeowners who share property lines and their neighborhood. But it's been approved and there's no going back. However, you missed a golden opportunity to show residents you do listen and hear their concerns. You've missed an opportunity to find a compromise so businesses and residents win. The First Amendment became another example of tone deafness. During that discussion, there were things you weren't told about this amendment. I doubt any of you knew there was a developer who wants to build a commercial establishment at Chamberlain and Greeley, north of I-75, which requires the 24/7 hours to operate. I learned about it by reading the public notice in the newspaper less than a week after the amendment was approved. That is not a coincidence. That's a calculated plan. Are you wondering how many new jobs will be created on this rather large parcel? Maybe 2 or 3 once it's approved and built. Guess how much additional tax revenue will be added to the city's coffers? Nothing earth-shattering. I can tell you the development is not all that glamorous either. As a matter of fact, it's just more of the same. The first business you amended the ULDC for is to build a storage facility. Yippee. I'm sure that's not what you envisioned for 24/7 operations in these zoning districts either. Stephen Harrison. Due to character restrictions, I had to make my public comment in 2 separate sections. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize Deputy City Clerk Matt Powell for his exceptional support. On multiple occasions, he has provided prompt professional assistance whenever I needed clarification or guidance, consistently going above and beyond to connect me with the right people and information. His dedication and professionalism reflect very positive on the city, and his efforts have significantly helped me conduct thorough and meaningful research. Additionally, I suggest updating the language regarding commission communications with staff similar to Venice, Florida, and Charlotte County to state, except for the purposes of inquiry or information, the city commission and its members shall deal with city officers and employees who are subject to the direction and supervision of the city manager solely through the city manager. Overall, I believe the commissioners, city attorneys, city staff, and the city manager are doing a wonderful job with just a few areas needing correction. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And in person, Tim Doyle.
So, Mr. Mayor, why am I so mad after what I found out this week? You don't need a permit in Northport to put up a fence anymore. 6 foot, you don't need it anymore. I went and got the police report, because I don't even know the people who came on my property. This is a 911 call. She called you, at least I believe it was 911. Started yelling, screaming. Someone is on my property. Number one, that's factually inaccurate, because I was on my property. But after getting the police report, sounds like she lied to 911. Because on the police report, it says she is from Cape Coral. So some woman from Cape Coral came up to Northport to build a fence on my property, according to the police report. Police come. She's yelling all kinds of stuff. Same situation when the guns were put to my head. I feel a couple of those cops believed her and not me. How do you think I feel? Again, not every cop, I think, bought it. I don't know if the woman lives in the house or not, but on the police report it says Cape Coral. I don't know what to say to you guys. I think it's disgusting. I come to this room and just ask you to take care of problems. I could have sued your butt off. You're talking about lawsuits, I could own this down. The vice mayor did me wrong in this room. It's all on camera. I've been done wrong all over the place. I'm tired of this. You guys, you know, they call me deplorable. You guys are despicable. I'm sorry. You have a code department and people who are going out and you give out permits, and because they can't figure out how to pull a permit or hold someone responsible, to build a fence? You do away with the law? So now we got people from Cape Coral coming up to Northport to build fences on other people's property? Are you kidding me? You guys are pathetic. You were supposed to hold people responsible in the code department and find out why they didn't do their jobs. I paid for a survey. You have a stamped survey. I gave it to the cops to prove I was on my own property. We're almost out of time. This is going to go on for years. You people are despicable.
Thank you. Moving on to Commissioner Communications, Commissioner Duval.
Thank you, Mayor. Last night I did attend our city's town hall, which I'd have to ask city manager, he was there. I thought it was well attended.
Yes, sir.
I was afraid that I might walk in there and there might be 10 people. I think there were 10 people that asked questions. Staff did a great job at presenting. It was about how government works. The most important thing about it to me was that it involved our citizens. To get our citizens involved is very important to managing this city. City staff deserves a pat on the back for that last night.
That it?
That's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Stokes.
Not a thing.
Same here. Vice Mayor Langdon.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Commissioner Petro. All right. City Clerk. City Attorney.
Nothing, Mayor.
And the good old City Manager. How about you, sir?
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. It's 8:07. I adjourn this meeting.